YouTube, what the green skin crap is going on? Welcome back to the Grom campaign. I know it's been too long, but worry not. I am here, and I will get you straight back into some disgusting cooking and a whole bunch of fighty wah. I promise you that the wait will have been worth it because we are going to be having lots of fun. That's right, you all decided that I was going to have to confederate Grimgor to finish the campaign since the weak sauce high elves couldn't hold their own and already kind of ruined the whole Tour of Rest thing. So yeah, we don't necessarily get to take care of that. So I'm going to have to go over, find, which I did find out that Confederation with the Greenskins works much like Norska. So we have to come over here. We'll march in by secret. We'll find Grimgor. We'll beat him down and force him into a confederation with the biggest and the greatest lord who has ever ruled the Greenskins. And that is going to be Grom de Ponch. And I'm trying to remember exactly where DePonch is right now. He's been busy. He's been busy. It looks like he's over here. He just took over Lioness. And I'll have to Castle Basham. I love the names you all come up with. These are perfect. In any case, yeah, we're doing good. We're doing very good indeed. So here we go. I'm going to jump in, and we're going to be covering some of the comments from last time, as well as trying to finish our pathetic war against Bretonnia, which there's not much of Bretonnia left. They are about to succumb to the green tide. Right, and starting with the comments, there was a good one. I was looking for a name that we could call Lioness. And I think that this particular comment from Hard Rock and Amigo, which, by the way, thanks for over 2 years of subscribing, Hard Rock and Amigo, appreciate it. He says, we should name Musion Moose Dijon in remembrance of the Guardian. After being beaten up by his immensity, all that was left was a sludge, further beaten and beaten until it was a nice firm foam for Grom's dining table. I like this. This is good stuff, and appreciate the awesome comment there from Hard Rock and Amigo. So we have renamed a settlement after him, and I do also like how it tied into the cooking. So that was very, very well done, in fact. Now let's get to some other comments. We did have another one here from Anthony Strickling where a bunch of people wanted Musion to be renamed to More Soups On, considering the peasant and horse stew added by all that leveling wyvern stew broth. Well, you know what? It may not have been at Musion, but we'll just rename this one right here at Languille to More Soups On. So there we go. We got it taken care of for you, Anthony. And then Hard Rock and Amigo also had another comment here where he said Coron should be renamed Poridon, because that's what Grom does, whether on the battlefield or the dining table, be it gravy or the blood of his enemies. And again, I think this is quite good and quite appropriate. So pour it on, and then I'll just put gravy here, you know, so that people understand what it is that Grom is thinking. So we've got it all taken care of, at least at the moment. We've got a lot of great names here. I'll cover more comments as we get to the turn-ins. But let's see what it is we need to do next. We'll go take a look at our lords and heroes, see if anybody's got movement points. Scrappiest does, but he's in the middle of a siege at Karak Hearn to get the dwarves to shut up, the stunty scum. Cannibal Daka of Carthage is busy ripping a swath through Bretonnia as well. And then Gordon de Ramsey is also busy getting ready to pour it on thick as needed. Now, we have a temporary peace, I think, with the Empire, because they were stupid and decided to stop fighting me and giving me a chance to kill my other enemies so that I can then come back and finish them. But, you know, I've never accused the Humies of being smart, nor will we. And we'll probably never see something smart come from them. I'm doing a whole lot of upgrades in the Reekland and getting it defended, which should leave us in a really solid position. And with taking over all these new settlements, as we start building up heaps of shiny stuff and upgrading, we should find ourselves in a lot better financial situation. But, I mean, honestly, the loot has been good, and we really haven't had to worry about the finances, to be fair. So let's keep things moving. We got 8 more delicious turns, 12 more turns of delicious wyvern stew. Though I did see some comments suggesting maybe the next thing to cook. So I am indeed looking forward to that. Grom de Ponch has picked up a skill point here, and I'm trying to remember exactly where we were at with him. We have all this thick-skinned wound maker. We've done a lot of upgrades on him, like a whole lot of upgrades, and he is very powerful. You know, the sacking thing could be good in looter. So this is never a bad thing. Let's pour some of that on, because Grom loves some good loot after a battle. I think that we're getting close to the end of what we can do with the Fishy Tittlemuncha, but not quite. She's got enough skill points that we can spend them all without having to skill dump them. So that's pretty exciting. I like that. Keep throwing some skills in here. And then who else here? Cannibal Daka. He's a lot lower down the tier here, but he is also, it doesn't look like we have to worry about immortality because he was one of the special lords that we got through our Big Finkin. And we always love some Big Finkin. We can get Iron Hard and then Lightning Strike, I think will be appropriate for him. And then we've got Buttlock the Orrible. Oh my goodness, these names are beautiful. You all are the best viewers, like bar none. The names are great. Guts to Gastromancer. We're gonna get him leveled up here too. He's already got his Arcane Conduit, which is gonna be one of the most important skills you can get. Let's go with Earthing so that he has less miscast opportunity. We've got a pretty good pile of scrap going here, and I'm gonna kind of keep using it to improve the Black Orcs. Look like I've given some of them a bonus versus large because we're fighting Bretonnia. I think that's appropriate, so I'll do that. Go ahead and put longer weapons on one more of them, and again we'll save and just get some more scrap and kind of keep making upgrades on a turn-by-turn basis. Maybe we can throw a little bit of scrap in here with Gordon to Ramsey. These ones shouldn't cost quite as much because it's just the spiders. Yeah, it's only 20 scrap. So let's finish scrapping up his Lava Spider Rider archers. And yeah, we'll call it good there for now. I can't remember if I have any agents at the moment. Looks like
Yes, boss.
is Porco, where is he at? Okay, here he is. It wasn't zooming to him. I think he got wounded and had to come back out of hiding now. So let's start swinging him over here where there's some juicy targets. As far as upgrades go, he's got everything he can by way of making him better on the campaign map, which is where we've been using them. Must have made some kind of upgrade that made my units cost more. That's interesting. Snide has an upgrade. Let's check that out. Brain Burst. Fist of Gork is good to have, so let's take that. Then we can issue a commandment here. Probably growth and obedience. I say that, no, we don't need growth or well, I mean, obedience would be great, but honestly, we'll just throw in some income extortion here. And let's see, we're gonna be able to get plenty of obedience from the boss's tent anyway. We've got the loot on the way. This could be great just to throw in here because we don't really need any recruiting up here. Gives us a little boost faction wide. It's another place here at Castle Bashdom and at Moose Dijon where we can issue another commandment. These are not fully grown yet. Only 3 turns though. We'll be getting close, so I guess I'll go ahead and focus on growth and obedience here until we get up all the way. But we should probably check some of our places just to see if we're still doing the growth and obedience, because we should probably swap over to these other ones. Yeah, give it a year. Some of these places have negative obedience. Like, how is this even possible? I can fix that. I could throw some of these. So we could build some of these and over here as well, just to kind of help out with income from post-battle loot. So there's a lot of things we could do in some of these other places, but I'm not going to spend my money in these forest places again just yet. I don't think they're a great place to spend. Let's go ahead and end a turn and get some of your comments taken care of. Alright, so let's get on here. From Lash God, he says, I love this campaign and the format of the battles. You get to see much more detail and means you don't have to worry about talking to us and fighting them at the same time. Well, I appreciate it, Lash Loot. That's why I did these in the first place. The only downside, obviously, is it takes me considerably more time to record these, which is definitely a downside at some points. But at the same time, it's very enjoyable, and I'm glad that you all enjoy it, so appreciate the feedback. Jacob Connell says, this series inspired me to hop back into my Grimgor campaign. Always enjoy a good Greenskin campaign. You know, the Greenskin campaign to me was not a lot of fun, but they did a considerable improvement. We don't make treaties with stringy elves. We only make dinner out of them. But yeah, I feel like the Greenskin campaign has gotten so much better since the big update to the Greenskins, and I feel like the Creative Assembly just did a pretty great job
Your reach
overall.
grows yet further, great lord.
I am
Your
incredible.
end-
Thanks for telling me. Chump. Alright, so... Oh! You did not assault my units, you Dawi filth. Alright, so chapter objectives. Let's see if Scrapius is ready to get into a fight at Karakurin. We're waiting on towers, and I've got one set of towers. It'd be great to have another set, because we got all these iron breakers. So I am going to go ahead and hold this another turn. I don't feel like we're under any huge threat. Boy, we picked up some income on that last turn, too. Our work of improvement is paying off. It is paying off nicely, in fact. So let's see here. Where did Porco go? Get him over here. Ready for some salty stabbing. Grom has got the coast cleaned up down here. There's quite a few Druki dread fleets sitting out there. Let's head towards... well, just anywhere up here, to be honest. I'm going to head towards Castle Artois, and I'm going to take Cannibal Daka of Carthage, and he will have to head over here, probably back over to Grungzint. I have this other army over here, though, that's probably a little closer to Grungzint. Handle that. I guess I could just head over here to Gisaro. Or, yeah, we'll park right outside of Castle Artois here, and then just take care of that next turn. We'll move underground over to Grungzint and hit it. We got to make sure we wipe out, and I mean absolutely wipe out, the filthy Bretonnian peasants. Alright, so I'm going to move over here. Let's check out our building options at the settlements here. Argwalon, we're going to ignore Axebite Pass. We're good. Boron, we'll definitely want to pile of shiny stuff here. And we'll want to improve up to Dehorde right here. It's definitely a worthwhile spend. Actually, maybe get us back in the positive. We'll want to put some stuff towards obedience. I don't really need the growth. The casualty replenishment's nice, but we don't have to spend our money there yet. Again, pile of shiny stuff. And I'm going to put this loot building here, because again, recruitment, not particularly of interest to me in these places. At Paravon, nothing that I'm interested in at the moment. Southern Grey Mountains, same thing. Hausen, the vaults. Again, nothing here of particular interest to me. Same at Torgavon, Widrioth, and Enedria Turnos / Du Bois Lumberyard. So, Baston, we can get a Dehorde. And in Middenland, we do hold Carrionburger here. We've already got the shiny stuff. So let's improve it. Let's improve the fortifications here. And then let's throw in the boss's tent to kind of help have some obedience and untainted here. So I think that'll be a good spend of our hard-earned cash there from the chapter objectives. And that leaves us in a good place to end a turn yet again. Just got to skip through. I'm making sure that it's just those Wood Elf settlements that we were worried about. And I'm going to get to some more comments here from you all. Senshi says, and that's no yoke. Who wants spider egg, cinnamon, French, Bretonnian toast now? I think all of us do, Senshi. And the Bretonnian French toast is probably something that should be in Grom's Cauldron. If it's not. Non-aggression pact with Malekith. This would make us very powerful. And he does hate the High Elves. And I guess I can pretend that we just allowed him to be a stupid git and do our work for us. So I'll do this. I'll do this. Make a powerful alliance. Just to grow our greenskin power. Of course we would betray him in the end because we's just fighty. That's the way it works. Francesco says, hey, Air, loved the story about the peasant who became his immensity's food. Love the videos. Well, thank you, Francesco. Really appreciate you watching, and appreciate you leaving the comment there. Carp says, I recommend Mork's blood pudding to cook in the cauldron. It's yellow plus orange plus hell pepper shrooms in the extra ingredient slot. Well, thank you for the tip. Mork's blood pudding actually sounds quite delicious, and it'll be a while before we have to cook something else, but we definitely need to cook all the dishes in Grom's Cauldron, in my opinion, as well. We don't make deals like this with the rogue army. That's just no need. Nick Lindbergh says, glad to see his immensity back. Thanks, Air. I'm going to assume that you'll be saying that again, because once again, I took way too long in between episodes, but I haven't given up on it, folks. Don't worry. I know it took me a long time, but the Grom campaign will be finished. We are definitely not giving up on it. Ooh, man, I want to kill Volkmar, but I'm busy with the stunties. And speaking of busy with the stunties, let's kill some stunties. So here you go, Scrapius. Time to rack up some experience. What a beautiful Grand Campaign mod map that someone added in. I love this mod. I hope it can go even further one day, especially if it's carried over into Warhammer 3. But what a beautiful map someone has put together here. The Grand Campaign map for Karak, Hearn, and Cazador. Proudbeard's forces are defending, and at this point, Scrapius's troops are already at the walls, and these are some of the biggest and artist of the boys in Grom's entire army. And they's going to be chopping through many, many Dawi. There are some Iron Breakers up here, but they're going to be in big trouble. The Crimson Killas is here as well. And the Iron Breakers is not going to get a chance to throw their satchel charges, and they're going to be in a fight against some very, very potent infantry, against which there's not going to be a lot of great chances for them. Man, that custom map maker, people have just done some brilliant work with it. Look at this. The map they designed with all these choke points and stuff for the dwarves to be able to defend the walls. This is a really brilliantly thought out map for the dwarves, because there's lots of fallback points for them to get to and fight, and basically choke points to use their missiles and stuff. So we talk about how to make siege battles better for Warhammer. I think this is one way to do it, just really good map design. This map is designed, now obviously the AI can't use it well, but it's designed for a player, and the player can potentially use it very well. It's a very beautiful map. Done such a good job putting it together very, very well. Anyway, we've got some of the big uns here. We've gotten over the walls too. They're going to be joining their Black Orc brethren in the absolute wholesale slaughter of the stunties, defending Karak Hearn, as Scrapius is not very happy with the stunties, constantly bringing him back and keeping him busy when he doesn't want to be. But he does enjoy a good scrap, and a scrap is what we're getting here. And you can see that the Immortals combining with another Black Orc unit to just absolutely lay waste to the Dawi, cutting through their armor like it's melted butter at this point. And then as far as the gates go, you see the Goblin, the Hammer of Gork there at work, and the gates are now breached. The Arachnorok Queen is the first one through, with Scrapius and his Spider Shine not far behind. He's busy casting some of his little law magic here. See that the flamethrowers on the outside of the gate, not enough to stop these two giant spiders. They're not particularly weak to that flaming damage. Again, though, just brilliant map design. Really like this one. Yeah, there are some stunties defending the second tier, and I'm wanting to get up here and have them waste their satchel charges. Some of them are Iron Breakers. Obviously don't want this being thrown at my infantry, so I'm going to get a volley off of them, so it can't be used against me. And as far as the fight on the walls goes, the stunties are being absolutely chopped down in a big hurry. Even more big uns coming up on the walls. And despite not being great against armor, they have high weapon damage and will be quite deadly. You can actually see Cazador Proudbeard. He was running around right there. I think he's now come down. Yep, here he is. He's now trying to stop the Snotling wagons from getting in. The trolls, hydras, rogue idols, everything just blasting through the gates. All kinds of stuff going on down here. The action doesn't stop. We got the Bride of the Gut here coming through, and the infantry in the second tier has now been engaged. And the Spider Shrine, the Arachnorok Queen, many spiders, and then the Troll Hag with the Bag of Carrion. Got our big boss here. So the Dawi are in some pretty big duke here. There's going to be many piles of dung, and their great statues will be torn down and replaced also with giant pillars of dung. spiders everywhere because of what we cooked in the wyvern stew. The slayers are going to be the only unit here that are potentially poised to do any damage, but let's be honest, they're doing almost nothing to Scrappius. And then Debrided to Gut is going to hit them with a Fate of Buna, kind of start tearing their hit points apart. We've got our Feral Hydras rolling in. This is from our Wa army. The rest of the Wa army is just kind of taking a break because they're not even needed here. We got the Trolls doing their clubbing. And like I said, this is going to be the final stand for the Dwarves of Karak Hern. The rest of their forces are utterly defeated, and more of the troops for Scrappius pouring in. All that's left is for the Slayers to be slain, and my troops are more than willing to provide them that service. Won't be a problem. They may be called Slayers, but they're the ones receiving the slaying, or being slain, and not the other way around, so don't let yourself be confused here. Oh man, this game is beautiful. Anyway, that's it. Scrappius gains the victory at Karak Hern, and the Dwarves continue to be pushed back. Is there ever a time when Scrappius isn't decisive in his victories? I mean, pretty much just might ought to be his middle name. So Cazador Proudbeard, no longer proud. Karak Hern is ours for the taking. He's going to loot it. Oh my, oh, never mind. We're going to sack it. And then we're going to occupy it. Oh my goodness. Absolutely great. All right, so gave it a good sacking, then occupied it. And we actually flipped our income for the first time in a while. Now, we're going to have to spend quite a bit of money, repairing all the things that we's broke, but, whatever. Not really worried about it. I'm just going to tear stuff down for the most part and build what it is that we need here. So, Karak Hern will be firmly in our control. The Stunties learning an important lesson, which is that Scrappius is better than you. And you just got to remember it, okay? That's the lesson, Stunties. In fact, we're going to teach it to you right. I like that, teach them right. That is such a cool... So I'm actually not going to pick that at the moment because there's some more death magic stuff I want to finish here. Like Soul Blight is super helpful. Want to get that. And then we got Arded Face Basha here, who can't quite get Immortality. He's very close. It's going to come on the next rank. But some other good stuff here. Praximeds, Scarred Veteran. I mean, you can never go wrong with melee defense. Melee defense is just very, very good. So there we go. Patchy to Salty Stabba. He levels up, but there's really not much we can do with it. We'll just dump the skill because he's already there. But that leaves Castle Artois and the sites of Grom. We can't quite reach it, which is unfortunate. I guess I'm just going to move underground, actually, so I can bypass the settlement. We'll head towards Gisero. So we'll be able to hit both of these. We did pick up some more scrap. Let's drop another upgrade in here on these black works. Let's make some of these even better versus infantry, and we'll have some that are, good against large. So it'll be kind of a nice mix here for Cannibal Daka. More soups on. All right, let's take a look at our provinces. We're actually making money. We're going to forget Arguelon, head to Coron, build up to a heap of shiny stuff, and then build the Orc Guardhouse here. The stakes here. And let's see, Boss Pole. Yeah, why not? We're sitting on some cash. Head over to Moose Dijon, where we'll build up the heap of shiny stuff. Caravan, no need. In the Reekland, we can build the Horde here. We can put in the Goblin Watchtower, the Horde here. And we do need growth still here, so I'm going to put in the Boss's Pole. Southern Great Mountains, Talzin, the Vaults, Torgavon, Widrioth, nothing to worry about there. So no more need to spend on any buildings at the moment, though I guess we could slowly build some of these up, but like I said, most of the stuff here just isn't all that important. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not totally bent on whether or not we really need that stuff. I think I'm just going to end a turn and get us some more get us some more commons taken care of. I got to scoot past Marienburg to get to Grungzent, so if I move underground here, well, I'll be stuck. I'm worried I'm going to get stuck in the influence of Marienburg. Well, we're not enemies with them, actually, so it should be okay. Should be okay. Alright. I skip all that crap in the turn. Alright, Synthetic says, the biggest Total War is back. I've got a few suggestions for settlement names. Cornhole for Coron. I do like that. It's a good name in multiple ways. I think with the greenskins, it's part dirty, also part a reference to a fun game we play here in the South at barbecues, and you know, I mean, a lot of good stuff there. I have already named Coron though, but we could just rename one of these other settlements to that for you as well, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Like Grungzent, we can just rename it to Cornhole or something. It wouldn't be any problem. But thank you, Synthetic. Appreciate the support and leaving a comment. 3 years of subscribership, by the way, too. Definitely appreciate it. All right, Cartel says, Air, the guy who will never remember his banners no matter how often he is reminded. Or will he? No one knows, not even Air. That's right. I think I did put my banners and stuff on recently, though, in some of the equipment, if I remember right. I'll have to go check, because, as you pointed out, I probably won't remember. In any case, thanks, Cartel. Appreciate the 3 years of subscribership as well, so very much appreciate the support from you all. Let's jump in here and see what we need to do next. Oh, look at this! We got a counter-strike. Alberic is trying to retake the settlement, and we all know that's not happening. Can I can't get all the way to him, but I can march up right behind him, and if he decides to go for it, there is a garrison. It's a pretty tough army he's got there, but I got a lot of big uns and boars and spiders and stuff like that, so we should be in perfectly decent shape to fight him. So we can get to Gisero now. So this probably isn't really worth the effort. Okay, look here, I do have a banner here. Let's put it on one of our boars, because they're going to be doing plenty of rear charging. We'll auto-resolve this one. Get the victory. And we got to sack everything before... I mean, we're greenskins. We'll take it on the next turn, but we got to give it a good sacking. Alright, Castle Artois. Also not really much worth a fight here, but maybe this will be one where Grom will just single-handedly take down the entire garrison, so how about that? Oh, folks, Grom is certainly capable, all by himself, of taking down settlements like this, and he's going to demonstrate for your own enjoyment here. Knights of the Realm, no problem. Grom is constantly hungry, and the horse meat is quite nice. Much fresher than a wyvern or something like that. Not that Grom doesn't enjoy some good wyvern, or that fresh is actually important to him, man. Look at the way he cuts through stuff. He's got massive splash damage. He's killing like 2 and 3 cavalry models at a time, sometimes more. That was more like 4 or 5 right there. He has good splash damage, and we've raised his weapon strength so much that Grom is just utterly obscene. Like, even against large targets like this, just does tremendous damage. Good grief. Yeah, like, and remember, this is an anti-large unit, which technically ought to be somewhat decent against Grom. But they get absolutely cut to pieces. So, yeah, it's not going to do him much good. The archers can fire all they want. Grom is healing, and he's taking very little damage. They can't hardly damage him faster than he can heal it. He's going to be pushing around the enemy lord here for a while, because the paladin is so pathetically weak, and of course, CA Please, they can't seem to fix the plowing bug here with chariots, where they kind of just plow a unit around rather than actually hurting it. But Grom's not going to have any problem. Now, all the units on the walls think they're safe from Grom. They can hide from his immensity by, you know, knowing that he can't climb a ladder without breaking said ladder. Or stairs, same with stairs. Ladder, stairs, they all break. He's too immense. But Grom knows a way to get them to come down from the walls, and that's going to be by taking advantage of the capture point in the middle of town. And he might be like, well, Air, look out. There's Pegasus Knights. Yeah. You see, the thing is Grom really likes to eat Pegasus, too. The flying horse meat is every bit as tasty as the running horse meat. And then the wings just give him an opportunity to have some barbecue wings. Look at that. he just like, even these really strong models, sometimes he'll just one-shot them. Look, he dropped 2 of the models on the very first hit. And when he swings, sometimes he'll, you know, like, one-shot effectively a model or 2 models of Pegasus Knights. These guys have a lot of hit points, just to give you an idea of how much damage Grom is dishing when he gets into his mode and has all of stuff on there. So the Pegasus Knights easily driven back, and Grom can now continue with his immense self onto the victory point at the plaza. And he's going to move in, capture it, and force. You can see the rest of my army just sitting back, taking a little bit of paid vacation. You know, Grom's going to be paying them in horse meat and peasant stew, so they're happy to sit back and just wait for it. See, the Pegasus Knights really want to attack him, but they just can't bring together the courage to get it done. We're capturing the plaza, and this is going to force Bretonnia to come back and send some more peasants to Grom. So they thought hiding on the walls would work, but it clearly won't. They finally get the courage together, these Pegasus Knights, and come back in for seconds, but Grom loves seconds, thirds, fourths. I mean, he'll eat as much as you keep bringing him. So the Pegasus Knights won't be doing great here. Wolves are going to get themselves a bite, and they're going to be surprisingly not routed yet, which is actually kind of an impressive showing, but they're going to be fighting to the last here before it shatters, and the Wolves are going to get a final bite out of it, finish them off. And now some infantry have come to sacrifice themselves. Grom's going to enable all of his abilities, where I think he gets up close to 1,200 weapon damage, and then a huge bonus versus infantry, and like 30 or 40% damage resistance. He'll just start killing 6 to 10 of these foot squires every time he swings his axe or his wolves take a bite. So he is going to be getting some massive damage done. These infantry blobs are where he's at his best, and you saw that he was already pretty strong previously. I mean, just watch the speed at which he can rack up kills here. These infantry blobs. So he's going to cut through that unit of great swords. There are more units coming. I'm going to make sure this one doesn't come back from routing and try and recapture the plaza. Now we've got bows on the way, so they think maybe that their arrows will be able to stick Grom, but the arrows really just kind of plug the holes in his gut, where he's already so fat, the skin gets stretched. Sometimes has leaks, but the arrows kind of just help plug that. Really works out nicer for Grom in the end. There's not much that can be done. He's soon to be in complete control of the city, and this has forced the peasants to come forward and get their just desserts. And speaking of that, Grom just likes some dessert, and these peasants will make a nice pie. Nice blood pie for Grom. So he's not going to have much problem scaring these bows off. Honestly, the bows aren't much of a thing. Look at the halberds. They're like, oh, hey, while he's busy killing our comrades, we'll go recapture the plaza. And little do they know that it's going to take a lot more than peasant bows to slow down the immense momentum of Grom. So he won't have a problem catching up. And these pole arms, not going to be big enough poles. I mean, it's going to take quite a pole in order to be able to stop Grom. But yeah, these pathetic peasant pole arms won't quite get it done. So Grom himself, once again, taking down the entire garrison with ease. And the city belongs to Grom. Alright, well, old Franciscus Armistead was obviously no match, even with his little garrison, for Grom and his immensity. You know, he had all those pole arms, and I mean, if you're gonna be fighting Grom, I mean, at the minimum, it has to be like troops with telephone pole arms. Like, it's gonna take a significant pole arm to even begin to counteract Grom, if such a thing is even possible, which I'm not necessarily suggesting that it is. So, you know, you never know. Let's see. Let's get our stuff built. We'll actually retake that. That'll be nice. Get our heap of shiny stuff. So, and then there was a name here I said we would use. So let's rename this one Cornhole, which was one of the names suggested for Coron, but that works. So there we go, Cornhole, and then Gizero is going to need a name. I don't have one for that, so I'll let you all do it. Another comment here from Hector, who says, awesome clubbing. Luankur went to the wrong school. That's right, he did. He should have learned to club better. Linguini could have been a subtle name, like leg apostrophe Guini, like Linguini, I'm assuming. I like that. That's a good idea. And we will try and apply that here shortly, as I think we're going to get the opportunity to. Guts the Gastromancer has picked up a skill point, though, that we should apply. Give him Here We Go, which is quite a good spell. Then Buttlock to Orrible, leveling up again. Let's give him Scarred Veteran. Just never hurts to have extra hit points. And then the Fishy Tittlemuncha, skilling up yet again. Let's see, we got Devastating Charge, Conviction, Onslaught. Go ahead and get Devastating Charge. I mean, the smell from Fishy Tittlemuncha is probably devastating by itself, even if you don't get to the charge part of the experience. There is still, let's see, what other settlements? Just Gisero and Grungzent, I think, that are going to be needing some attention. I don't see any agents that I need to kill or, like, give some stabbing at the moment. So I'll just take Pork over here just to burn some movement points. Can ignore that. We do need to build up our greenskin burrows at Castle Bashdom and then build these stakes here. And let's check some Paravan. I might as well just build this up because we're flush with cash right now. Same thing here at the Southern Grey Mountains. I'm going to hold off a bit longer at these places. Do the same thing at the vaults here. Drioth, Baston, we can build up to Big Walls. And we got the Black Mountains here at Karak Hearn. We got our Dahord, so we're going to want some obedience to the boss, and probably wouldn't hurt to stack in some idols here.
Now they'll see.
And Scrappiest is ready to move on, so it's going to be, and Karak Hearn is going to need a name as well, so I'll leave that to you all. We're going to move down here to Karak Angashar, or however we say that one. So keep the scrap fight moving forward. And speaking of scrap, we've got another nice little bit here. So let's take this army, which is approaching battle quite soon. Check our scrapped weapons. Ooh, man, that's a lot of extra weapon strength. Yeah, that is quite nice. We can get them scrap armor and put them up at 85 armor, both of which are pretty awesome. That's pretty good both ways. I'm going to go with reinforced weapons, though, because these guys are kind of damage dealers. So that should be a nice one for them. Go ahead and throw a few of these on here, because we're earning quite a bit of scrap each turn. And if we end up fighting this, I want to have some really tough boys for taking down this Bretonnian army. Let's get a couple more comments. Glitch Online says, "Gits, crap, it's a good day." That's right. It is a good day. Anytime we got a Grom campaign, definitely a good day. Jason says, a name suggestion I have is Bobby DeFlayer, after celebrity chef Bobby Flay. Flaying people was IRL torture and seems very orcish. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good idea, Jason. I'll have to see if I have some characters who need the name. I'm assuming I do, or else probably wouldn't have been suggesting it, so we'll check it out. Albrecht de Bordelot decides to turn around, and the auto-resolve thinks that we have no chance whatsoever against, apparently, this invincible array of Bretonnians. So yeah, we'll see about that. I'll see you on the battlefield, Albrecht. Albrecht de Bordelot on the open fields outside Pour It On, formerly known as Coron, has a huge contingent of Spider Rider archers, many of which are the lava variant. All of them, the lava variants have an improved reload and do armor-piercing damage, whereas their normal forest cousins here are going to be doing the poisoning. We've done their job of attracting some bait to be pulled back into our battle lines, which are arrayed back here at the back of the map. Even though the infantry is rather green, I guess no pun intended, since they are greenskins, Gordon de Ramsay's army will still be quite potent, and his boars are on the flanks supported by spiders. He has a small Wa contingent that is going to be coming on from behind. You can see at this point that the Pegasus Knights know that they have been baited, and they decide that the best thing to do is to just charge right into Gordon de Ramsay and test his mettle. But they will find out that he is hard as nails, and it's not going to work. So Gordon de Ramsey's going to help cut through these Pegasus Knights along with his infantry. And we're going to see some moves for Bretonnia to try and get to the flanks with its cavalry. So I'm going to use my archers to lure in yet more, put the spiders on the flanks to help ward that off. Because we have Pegasus Knights, Grail Knights, I believe Knights of the Realm as well, all approaching from the flanks. So lots of power coming from Bretonnia. I mean, what they consider to be power now, whether it's actually power is probably a good question. I think we all know the answer to it. So my Spider Rider archers are out getting their next victims ready. And you can see that the peasants and the folks who think they're noble but are actually just peasants, soon to be reminded of it. Rolling around out here, the Grail Knights looking for targets. See the Pegasus Knights again looking for targets. And here in the front, yet more Grail Knights going to be charging into my Orc Biggins. And with some overwhelming force here, they think that maybe they can break through these troops, but it's just not going to happen. They're going to go after my my Shaman here, but the Shaman's still going to be able to do what he needs to. Now, interesting fight gets going here as Alberic and a bunch of his goons get together, thinking that they can kill Gordon de Ramsey, but Alberic took some massive damage in return, and Gordon de Ramsey's not putting up with that crap. This flank, the Boar Boys, the Spiders, are keeping the Paladins and the Knights of the Realm back. Not too much issue. And despite being swarmed by Grail Knights, my right flank holds strong. The Ragnarok Spiders and Boar Boys helping to push back the attackers. And again, you're going to see a concerted effort now by the Paladins and Pegasus Knights, all trying very hard to kill Gordon de Ramsey. But he is going to keep holding out strong. The Spider Riders all sitting back and firing into the large cavalry targets. And then we get a wah here, where Gordon de Ramsey's troops is going to get even more fighty than they already is, which is very fighty. See the Grail Knights here doing some cheese, trying to pull through my lines. Leave it to the AI and these filthy peasants to be attempting such things, but it will do them little good. They're being cut down, and despite their attempts to snipe my war boss, they have not succeeded, and their cavalry is taking massive casualties all over the battlefield because our boars is bigger, better, and harder than anything they have to offer. You can see my boys cutting through their fancy Bretonnian noble wannabe armor. And at this point, Alberic is about all that's left for Bretonnia, and he won't be able to stand up in this fight either. He is currently running away, which is pretty typical for Bretonnians, and Gordon de Ramsey proves his worth on the battlefield up against a legendary lord. Well, Alberic de Bordelo obviously had the auto-resolve, so he thought, but what he obviously didn't know is that the auto-resolve is often wrong when it comes to facing human players, but hey, you know what? These captives will be delicious, so really appreciate Alberic donating some peasant and horse meat to the cause. We had a couple more good comments here from Shin, who says, you name one of the squig herds in Cannibal Daka's armies, the meatballs. We can absolutely do that. The meatballs actually sounds very nice. And then Baron Burmaster, which appreciate you being a subscriber, by the way, for 7 months, says, for what it's worth, I enjoy the cinematic battles with no commentary. Well, I know a lot of people do, and occasionally I will do that, but I think most people are probably really liking the commentary over the top of it. So for the time being, I will do that, but definitely we'll probably take... Really, you vampire scum. That was my settlement, you know? That was my settlement, Kimmler.
I see, I see. A pact, is it?
Yeah, what a thief. Thieving scum. Alright, well, whatever. I'm gonna ignore him for a moment. I'll come back over here and get Cannibal Daka. You all can tell me what you think we should do with him, but I mean, I have a treaty with him, so I'm gonna have to be patient in my killing of him, though I do really want to kill him. So let's see here. The meatballs are now part of Cannibal Daka's army, so appreciate it. TCDEG says, I wouldn't eat the cows they shoot. Seeing how they interact with the towers show that your next visit to the Ivory Throne could be quite explosive. I mean, the cows that the Bretonnians shoot at us probably will give explosive diarrhea, but that's just not something that Grom is scared of. I mean, I'm sure he's willing to embrace the diarrhea on pretty much every level. I mean, it seems like something that Grom wouldn't really be scared of. I mean, he is the most immense, and so he also makes the most immense bowel movements. Watch the auto-resolve take some units from me. Oh, no, it didn't. Thank goodness. Anyway, there goes Alberic. Gives Gordon to Ramsey some nice... Oh, yeah, we do have some character names we can dish out. So someone had that character name earlier. Let's see. Bobby DeFlayer. So there we go. Bobby... And let's get DeFlayer in here. Good stuff, good stuff. So we got Bobby DeFlayer. Appreciate the name suggestion, by the way. And let's get skill points taken out here. This is Gordon to Ramsey. We've given some improvements to his troops, which is, I think, a great place to start. And then we should probably do this Looter and Ravager and try and get Lightning Strike, because Lightning Strike can be a lifesaver in the right situation. Get evasion so we can get the bigger spells. And we'll grab a War Boar for our boss, who still needs a name here, I think. Alright. Get over here. Like, oh, did he have another one? Yeah, Deadard. Let's give him Deadard. Perfect. We got some decent scrap. We'll go ahead and build it up for another turn or two. This army can get back on the move, so I'm going to move it this way back towards Grungzent. Pour it on. Has some room for some more gravy here. Same with Moose Dijon. Excellent, excellent. Let's check our Argolon. We ignore Reichland. We don't really want to ignore. We can build up the Greenskin Burrows, put in a Goblin Watchtower, go to heap of shiny stuff. Build the Orc Guardhouse. There we go. Black Mountains. Yeah, probably doesn't hurt to have more here with the Totem Pole. Forest of Ardennes. Cornhole. Let's see. Not really worried about having the Goblin Sawmills. It shouldn't be particularly helpful, really. Let's just put in this thing with more obedience. Or, sorry, growth. And at Middenland, we will go ahead and build the boss's shack. We still got a ton of teeth we're sitting on, which is appropriate. And did the Skaven just take? And I'm not really appreciating the AI stepping in front of me and taking advantage of my work. You're lucky you've got a treaty right now, you filthy rat, and I've got Grimgor on the brain. I'd give you such a wah. Alright, there we are. I'm just going to move on over here. It's the filthy Skaven. They've probably taken over that settlement. It's a possibility that it's not inhabited, but likely the Skaven went ahead and took that one over. So that's going to probably be it for this episode. I feel like we had a good episode. We still have Castle Carcassonne here, which will obviously be Castle Carcass by the time we're done with it. In fact, I'm going to start moving down this way, though I don't really want to go through vampire territory. It'll take a little longer, but we'll go this direction. And we'll start moving down the coast here and go take care of some business along the way. And let's see. That's going to just leave Grom here with his skill point, which I think that we had... We put it into... Was it... I think it was Ravager. We put the final point on Ravager. Let's do Looter, because we really like the loot. That's how we're going to fund most of this campaign. Orko needs to do some stabbing. There is a Bretonnian agent here for him. And he does enjoy a good stabbing. He's quite good at it, too. Give him credit. Precise. And I think that's going to be that, folks. I'm going to get to a couple more comments here before I leave, but appreciate you all joining me for yet another episode. I'm going to get down here. It says, The Caster, which, by the way, thanks for being a subscriber for 2 years. It says, here's some Bretonnia settlements to rename Coron into Colon Languil into La Grille. Castle Artois into Castle A-hole. I love it. And also, apologies if my past comments sounded demanding. No problems. Feel free to leave comments. Appreciate it, The Caster. Thank you for being a subscriber. Speaking of subscriber, 5-year subscriber here, Mandalore223 says, I'm praying hard that the Shogun 2 campaign is with the Atoma. Well, your prayers were answered, says their daimyo having received vision of golden being bearing eternal stoic visage of Gelt. The wondrous man gave him a vision, one of smoke, black powder, and victory. I love it. That's an awesome comment, Mandalore. Thanks for 5 years of being a subscriber. Senshi says, croutons appetizer course. Grom only expects the best fresh second breakfast. That's right, Senshi. Appreciate you. And also, thanks for being a subscriber for 5 years. Christian just love this campaign. Prefer it when you comment on the fighting. It's quite fun to listen to. Also, you should name one of the port cities Fishy's Floaty Boat Hole. I love these names. These are great. Daniel Blair, subscriber for 6 years, says Coron should be renamed to Devirus. I like it. Thank you, Daniel, for the suggestion. Thanks for 6 years of subscribership. Sunny Boy, 6 years of subscribership as well. Says, thanks, Air, for putting my lord name in. Hail Gordon to Ramsey. Unit for his army could be named Lame Sauce in the Kitchen Nightmares. That's a good idea, actually. Let's go over and get Gordon to Ramsey's army here. So we're going to name these guys the Lame Sauce. And we'll rename these one of these spiders. This is the Kitchen Nightmare. Kitchen Nightmare. There we go. Got it taken care of for you. Thank you for all the years of being a subscriber. Chad D says Coron, pronounced crouton or croutone, meaning if his immensity is feeling fancy or just crouton. I like it. That's a good suggestion. Thank you, Chad. The dragon says he's back. That's right, he is back, and now he's back again. Thanks for 6 months of being a subscriber. Nate Weaver, 7 years of subscribership. Thank you. You are awesome. He says, bring back Rome 2. Eventually we will. Doing a Shogun 2 campaign, but I'm sure we will have a Rome 2 campaign, so keep an eye out. 5 years of subscribership for Jonathan Pup, who says, please name Coron Peasant Chops. It's delicious yet not posh dish that recently found itself in the old world. The Axe Cult grilled peasant chops from Coron are served with exquisite red wine sauce made from gork-stomped Grail Knight grapes. This immensity is much welcome. Stop by anytime. The Coron peasant chops are always on the house whenever his immensity decides to pay a visit. That's awesome, Jonathan. Thanks for the awesome comment and ideas there. I love it. Morkos says the wolves should be considered gods of endurance. Apparently they are. They're chewing through gates and all kinds of stuff. HH Ray says, and by the way, HH Ray, thank you for 7 years of subscribership. Says, oi, who you calling a git? You get. Good point. And then Killscribe, appreciate you. He has been a subscriber for a month now and awesome at counting up all of our kills in our campaigns, and he's got this one covered. By the way, folks, the Reich clan lost 40,855 souls. Coron is now following behind with almost 10,000 at 9,935. Karazakarak at 9,150. And check out his entire kill list. I'm going to go ahead and drop a favorite on it and pin it on this the previous episode, which was episode 17. So definitely go check it out if you get a chance. He does a great job putting together that kill list, and definitely appreciate all the work that he has put into it. We just got a couple more comments here I'm going to get to before the end of it. We've got Steam Noob, who's been a subscriber for 2 years, says Coron, peasant cuisine, if you ask me. Trantor, thanks for being a Gold Shield channel member. 1 year and 10 months of sponsoring the channel, and then 2 years of subscribership. He says Coron, corned bone. Man, you guys got all kinds of good names. We're going to have to get some of these in here. And then Wubsky says, play more Rome 2. Well, I mentioned earlier that we very well might be, because I have that Shogun 2 campaign. And at this point, we will have a campaign going on in a non-Warhammer Total War game at all times, but one at a time. So as of current, it is the Atomo campaign. Hope y'all are enjoying that one. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I will see you all soon with some more action in the Grom campaign.